I just want to first say thank you so much. You guys have just been so faithful in praying for a lot of situations that we've been going through as a family. So first and foremost, I just want to thank you for that. It's just, I've never in my life felt so tangible evidence of prayer as we have just in the last even couple months. So I so appreciate that. But I just wanted to share real quick just a little story that from the Bible that has just helped me immensely over the last few months. And I know you guys have heard it, but it's the story of three mighty men of God, and it's just interesting because it wasn't even that they were nominal Christians. They were actually ones that really fought against the current culture and system, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And they weren't just, ones that acknowledged God. They actually, made it their goal to do, I'm going to do whatever I can for God. And in the midst of that, still things happened to them, and they suffered. And I know so many of us can relate to that, and we just ask ourselves, God, have I done something wrong? Because I feel like I'm doing everything right. I'm acknowledging you. I love you. I'm giving you glory and everything, and still things happen. And they were faced with going into the furnace. And it's so interesting, of course, the king said, let's see if your God saves you. And they just looked at Nebuchadnezzar and they said, we don't have to defend our king. He is more than able, and he will save us. And we're all at that point where we go, God, you're going to save us. You're going to save us. And over the last few months, I've said over and over when we've just seen seizure after seizure with Esther, and when we've gone through all this financial stuff, which I know a lot of you can relate to, so I won't even get into that one, that we go, God, you're able. But then it seems like you don't really see anything from that. And so oftentimes we equate suffering or unanswered prayers as a lack of love from God. And they instead said to him, he is able, we don't have to defend him. But if not, and I've really done that with the Lord, that God, if not, if I have to walk through this, or I never know the day where I have to watch my daughter go through that again. And there's been times where I've held her and you don't even feel her breathing anymore. And you go, okay, God. I remember a few weeks ago when I couldn't feel a pulse, I couldn't feel her breathing. And I had to look at her and go, but if not, if you take her, God, what am I going to do about it? If you don't heal her, what am I going to do? If you don't deliver us from our financial struggles, what am I going to do? If this huge chasm that oftentimes seems to be between me and my teenager doesn't seem to diminish, what am I going to do? But if not, and I've said, God, you are worthy to receive all glory, even if I don't see that this side of heaven. If not, and I've wasted so much time where you're waiting and waiting for the answer that you're often going to, discouragement or depression or wondering, why, God, aren't you answering? But we're left with the question, what if he doesn't? What if he doesn't? What are we going to do? He's still worthy of it. And it's interesting. I was reading it, and here they go in the furnace. And the Lord just said, Molly, just because they were saved from the fire doesn't mean they didn't feel it. And I had never thought of it that way. And, of course, they got unbound from their ropes. But I think, call me crazy, but I think more than that being a testimony to the ones on the outside looking on that they were not bound anymore, I think it was a test for them from the Lord on, okay, you're feeling the fires, but you're free. You're not bound. What are you going to do? And so here I stand in this furnace, as so many of you are right now, and we're in the fires, we're feeling it, but we're not bound. And so what are we going to do about it? Can we give him glory even if we don't see any of those prayers answered the way we think they should be answered? I don't want to waste another day of, okay, until you do that, I'm going to just be discouraged. I want to give him what he deserves.